and without any support, right, in a cold weather, and we offer them like blankets here, and we explain such like a compassionate like a technology to tourists, right? And please, come up here, okay? We have great volunteers like from Changhua, okay? You can take a look at the videos like filmed in the central Taiwan. And just now, I think we saw like Zhan Dawei, okay, on the video, in the video. And he is very pleased, right, to explain all the product, Jingsi product, right? And they are used to save people, and they are eco-friendly, and we can just make them in our daily lives, right? And thank you, Zhan Dawei. And we also have Zhang Yixiong, okay? And this is his brief introduction through our video, and let's take a look. And we have like 7 volunteers coming from Changhua, okay, and this is one of them, Zhang Yixiong, and he looks a little bit like aged, but he is very young in mind, right? And let's take a look at what he's doing, right? And this is very, very important job. That is, he is a documentary volunteer, and this is, okay, very thankful to have him. If you feel this is something that I can't shoulder, and you have to gently say no, but if you can just shoulder it and just take it bravely, and I think I will just keep doing, okay, the documentary jobs, right? After I get the contact work to brother Dawei, and I continue working behind the scene as a documentary volunteer. Do you think this is very touching, right? He is always a volunteer in our documentary team, right? And now let me give you a younger volunteer through the video, and he is Zhang Yongtong. And aside from working, and he does a lot for Ciji. And he also conducts traffic like for children in school. And let's take a look at when he just participated in our documentary team. And taking pictures is not the only function. And I began videotaping, editing videos, and I imported from somewhere. And Premiere was the media that I use, and because it has like an interface in English, so it was difficult for me to learn. I did my best, however, and I will just learn something and make it through, right? If I work hard on it, and things will change. I feel honored to learn the documenting, and everyone is very, very, happy and get into the Ciji big family, and now you learn something. Finally, let's take one more video. Take a look at one more video, and this is the only lady we have from Changhua today, and this is really wonderful. And she was so like Shusi worked for the post office, and now she's a documentary volunteer in Changhua. And before this, we need an interview, and we will just make everybody all together, and they just do everything by themselves, okay? And although she is a documentary volunteer, but she also sends patients to the hospital, and her husband cannot drive, and her children were abroad, and she just does everything by herself, serving as a volunteer, like a very heartwarming woman. And she sends like a patient to the hospital by herself, and she is always a great assistant, right? And she sends the patient to the hospital, and she learned that she got like a lameness on her limbs, right? And she's really, really like a heartwarming, and she really takes care of all the people around her, and she devoted in documentary like a volunteering, and she began with nothing, and she learned a lot, right? And volunteers from China said that she's a really wonderful person. So now, and this is our Iron Lady here, right, Shusi, right? And here, and we have 7 documentary volunteers from Changhua today, and we really feel very happy, and we have them here and just sharing like how they are doing in Changhua as a documentary voluntary team in Changhua. And here, okay, in their hands, and there are a lot of publications. And let me tell you, they are composed and they are published by themselves, right? Ladies and gentlemen, team from Changhua. And this is Zhan Dawei. Okay, ladies and gentlemen from online study group Kaohsiung, good day. We are from Changhua. And it's great that I have and I possess this great affinity, and I'm here. My name is Zhan Dawei. My Dharma name is Wei Wen. And because, in my Dharma name, I have a Wen, which means literature, which means documentation. And maybe this is therefore I am volunteering in the documentary field. And in our yearly review of the voluntary volunteers, and we have a long-lasting care article there. And let me just briefly introduce what it is, right? I became a Tzu Chi volunteer in year 1995, and I was asked that whether I could use a computer, but sorry, I couldn't, because at that time computer was not very popular in Taiwan when I was only 38 years old that year. And I learned from nothing, learning how to produce documentations, right? And I just learned how to use a computer and type on the documents, right? And I use both of my fingers, right? And I really learned everything just like an infant. And I also tried a recording, okay, but my pronunciation in Chinese is not so correct. Therefore, I wanted to correct my Chinese language pronunciation, and I took a class, okay, learning Mandarin. Well, and I really learned very much at Tzu Chi, okay. And I also opened up a company, and I earned a lot of money buying stock, and I also lost all the money I had, right? And I also faced a big problem physically. And when I was 50 years old, I think it was time for me to be a full-time volunteer. So I did. I quit my job, and I stopped suffering, and I began my happy volunteer life when I was 50. Oh, I suffer. Okay, and I had a operation in 2015, and after that I realized that I had to seize every moment I had to do the good deeds, right? And I am very grateful to Tzu Chi volunteers, right? And the Humanitarian Center in Taipei. And we have over 330 volunteers of documentary volunteers in Changhua, and they are couples, they are fathers and sons, they are mothers and daughters, right? And this is a very wonderful team, right? And we just share the jobs, and we also help one another and achieve the goals that we set, right? Okay. And this is the book, this is that Cai Quan is our volunteer who is already over 100 years old, And we also have the reverse by Gao Zhaoliang, who dropped before. And this is a 新宽世纪 talking about our century-year-old volunteer Taekwondo. And I think that they are all the good publications, right? And here, then we also have a publication recording like what we have done in Changhua. And this is very special. And within the 20 years, and we have the chronology about what we do within the 20 years of Ciji life in Changhua. And now let's have our second volunteer and sharing how he feels and what he has done.
我在这个人人真善美，我是2002年退休，退休以后我就在做人人真善美。
Ladies and gentlemen, good day. My name is Zhang Yixiong. I have been serving in the documentary volunteer in this team. After I retired, I got retired in 2002. Okay, and I served in the team for 20 years, right? But I had some physical problem, and I stopped, serving for a while. And I've been really interested in like a documentary team, okay? But using a computer, right? I type in all the text in a different way, and I made a lot of mistakes therefore. After I get retired from my job, I felt that I must continue learning and serving, okay, in the documentary team. And what I did was what was the job of compiling, okay, the Buddhist canon, which is a review of like a Ciji's history. And because in 2009, I went back to Hualien Jinsi Hall and had a conference, and I was told that our mission is to keep the record and history of Ciji. So I have to record exactly on the chronology about what year, what month, and even what day like Ciji has been doing. And this is what I have been doing for over 10 years, right? Almost 20, non-stop. Okay. And I think this is very important, okay, to have the chronology in Ciji, right? And it's been, the 56th year of the Ciji history. And in my record, I think the chronology, which takes almost 3/4 of the record, is so important because it clearly indicates what Ciji has been doing. And if we need to check out the records, and it will be very easy as we open up the record. And for all the informations we need, and for all the Buddhist canons that we need, and or we have guests that wanna just take a look at what Ciji is doing, and chronology counts. The Ciji chronology is important, and this is the job that I do. And I just compile them through different years, different topics, and different dates, and this is very clear. And now everyone is beginning with a very important task, and that is we make the chronology online from 1990. and we didn't have anything before year 1989. And I think for now, and if you want to search the history before 1989, then we need to open up the paper records, right? And this is necessary for me, okay, to continue doing this because we still have a lot of records, okay, needing to be documented online, okay. I think I will do the job serving as a volunteer until my last breath. And because Mr. Zheng says that just do it when the things are right. And thank you very much, Zhang Yixiong. And right here, I'm very grateful to be here. And especially at the moment that we are invited by teacher Mei. And actually, we have been waiting for over a year to come here, okay, like 15 months.
In 1996, after I was certified by Master Chen, in the old days when Master Chen is expanding the Dharma teachings, we had the opportunity to record the Master Chen's teaching word to word by writing. So 1996, on June 16, when Master Zhen and her followers are on the bus to visit the poor, to take care of the poor, and they were stuck in the creek. The bus was stuck in the creek bed because of the severe flood. And Master Zhen also get down from the bus to push the bus over the creek. And Master Zhen also take a picture when her followers are pushing the bus. And that moment, and that because of the picture, the moment was recorded, and we will be able to, for people who did not participate in the event, they could be able to see the event from the picture. So I think that it is very important for Tzu history to be able to retain the all the important moments in the Tzu. So taking picture can we can retain the footstep and record all the beautiful story in the world. And every day we Dharma Dodun gave us the opportunity, and we are able to we are able to depict a story, a touching story from image pictures or from Jing's aphorism. And every one of you, did any one of you have received our sharings through the cell phone? We share our team from our team, Sister Xu Shuhui. She had a dialysis for over 20 years. She had kidney diseases, that's why she needed dialysis. But although she was very ill, but she still, while she is having dialysis, she would watch the Dawei TV and Master Zhen's teaching, and after she got back home, she would work on the documentary. And Sister Chen Shumin had surgery and also her husband had a surgery too. So both of them had a surgery and injury in their arm. They both still continue working on the documentary work to retain and to record the touching footstep of Qiji volunteers. And there's a young volunteer who is on our team, and he is and another person is Ling Hui. She is very talented. She not only do the word editing, she also is very good at the word editing, and she her thoughts are very clear, and she's very detail oriented. And in Changhua of Taiwan, we have many volunteer as the writers for our to record the life, the farming and cultivating life in Jingsi abode. My husband, he is here too with me. And he heard, my husband heard Mei teacher Mei Yun ask brother Liang Han that whether we are willing to record the farming and cultivating life in Jingsi abode. And my husband thinks that it's very meaningful, so that he participated in this very meaningful activity to document the life in Jingsi abode. Master Zheng shared with us that encourage us, we need to take notes and recording every day what you hear, what you learn from Qiji, and what you learn from your role model. We need to write down and take notes, and it would be a touching experience for ourselves and volunteer in the future to learn. And Master Chen encouraged us to recruit more documentary volunteers. Let's not forget the moment in the history. Let's not forget a role model in Qiji history. And let's record touching stories that we are able to encounter, and that spread this touching story for the whole world to learn the beautiful moment in human history. We have the opportunity. The senior volunteer who gave me the opportunity that my daughter and son-in-law, they had their children to study in the Qiji school, kindergarten. So because they're in the kindergarten, they have to adopt a vegetarian diet, and so they were touched by their children taking vegetarian diet, so they became vegetarian too. And I was very touched that my daughter and my son-in-law, they both because of their children, they become city volunteer too. So it is a very it will create a more loving feelings in the family if we all of us are learning the Dharma teachings and know how to treat each other with love and care. I feel very fortunate that my family become city volunteer.
亲爱的慈济家人们，大家好，非常感恩。
Dear Dharma Master Jian and dear Dharma families, good morning and thank you. I have this. It's my honor to have this opportunity to share with all of you my Qi Ji experience. I want to share with you that my name is Zheng Yongtong. I was well treated and I was deeply loved by Qi Ji families. I learned. I work as a documentary volunteer, and I felt I grew in spiritually in with the team documentary team.
有我们的家庭主妇，有我们的老师，也有
in our documentary team, the volunteer have very various backgrounds. Some of them are housewives, and some of them are just some of them are doctors, and some of them our volunteers. They just they have a day job, but at night they work for documentary. In their spare time, they work as a documentary volunteer. Although we have various background, but we all learn together and help each other to record touching moments in Qi Ji activity. And because of the documentary team, we are able to learn not only the technique, but also how to communicate with well with each other, and also how to communicate with the video, the camcorder. And we have to learn how to communicate very well with the camcorder. We will be able to record the best videos in the event. We learned from our experience, and I seize all the opportunities that I am able to operate on the camcorder, and I also have to recruit other volunteers to work as a team. And before the event, we need to learn the environment, and we need to place all the wiring and set up the camcorders. Some of our volunteers need to take time off from their work to do Qi Ji work as a volunteer, and some of our volunteers who are ill but they still take their time to work as a volunteer, because all of us learn so much from our Dharma master's teaching. Like Brother Dawei, he say, I have to I want to be here because I'm so happy to be here. I learned so much. And Brother Dawei always prepare breakfast for us. And Sister Shusi, it gave us a tremendous love, always take care of us like a mother. So our team is just like a big family. It's like true siblings, and we have parents who take good care of us. It's like a warm family. It's even warmer. I feel it. Our documentary team is even warmer than my own family. So I feel very it's honored to be able to work with the whole team. And we need to learn from the experience to put together video and the subtitles and also the and also put together and so to present the best quality of the video to record the record touching stories in Qiji world. And we also support the documentary. We not only do our own documentary work in Changhua, we also support Yunling team. And we also work on setting up the standard and procedure to for all the documentary volunteers, so when they come, they are new to the team, they know what the procedure to follow, and they know the steps each they have to if they follow step by step.
And let's take a look at the video. And this is Lugang, Changhua. This is a culture town and located at Jinsihou in Changhua. And we have been cultivating the culture, delivering the beauty, and letting people know the humanitarian beauty of Ciji and forming blessings all together. This is a wonderful place there. And if we go through the corridor, then we will be finding and searching the very fresh memory since 2001, since the first seed of Qiran began there as a first volunteer. This is a grand lesson that can benefit people doing good deeds and form harmony in the world. This is a preach from Master Zheng. Never forget about that person, that year, and your very first aspiration in mind. And this is a school role passing down to Jinsi disciples, in which it says the records and the memory and of course the Dharma that has to be passed on generations after generations. In every corner, nostalgia corner, and behind every picture has its own story. And maybe this is a loving hand in the community, and maybe this is a care recipient in every corner of Changhua. And it is a very, very heartwarming record in our chronology in Changhua. This is a humanitarian promotion, and this is a very, very best of children's education. And this is a lifelong learning through all the painting, all the works, and we witness not only the beauty, but also the humanitarian culture there. In the Jinsi aphorism, it says, if we purify ourselves, and we can also purify others, right? You and I are the seed of purification, so we can bring hope and beauty to every corner of our society. And let's make the great love all around the world. And Changhua Jingsi Hou is a very heartwarming home for everybody. We purify people's hearts, and we want everyone know about education and be a cultivated and educated person. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So I'm so grateful that we can have this team from Changhua, and they take a lot of pictures and they make a lot of videos and they write a lot, but they don't speak as much. But we have to, remind you, Jin's everything. If you talk much, think about whether they are useful, and if you speak less, and maybe you do more. I think, remember this, right? If we do things as a team, then we can just complete all the tasks, right? And I think that this is a wonderful team. And we have a Peeling Huang saying that this is a wonderful documentation team from Changhua. And it records Gao Zhaoliang's stories. This is wonderful. And we have Zhan Dawei. This is so great. And we also have the Aliang Square Balance, which is reverse. This is a wonderful publication that purifies everyone's heart, right? And we have Yu, okay, in Kaohsiung, saying that, okay, Mr. Zheng really think highly of the documentation team from Changhua. This is wonderful. Thank you very much. And now, next, and we are directly going to Xu Yuncai.
及全球的法亲们，大家好。地址是徐云彩，上人给地址的法号